But David, thank you. I appreciate it.
And now to this story exclusive, a required class now. Campus Reform is reporting that there's a required class at a public university in Maryland, Salisbury University, that's raising some eyebrows. A professor at Salisbury teaching a diversity course that is required of students who are studying education to be educators. They use the, quote, pyramid of white supremacy chart. It is required of these education majors. Keep in mind, there's a public university that receives tax dollars. Joining us now is Shakina Hollingsworth, a recent Salisbury grad and a correspondent with Campus Reform who broke this story. Shakina, welcome. Good to have you here. So you graduated from Salisbury last year. You didn't take this class. This is a new class. But when you look at this pyramid, and I want the folks at home to take a look at it, maybe we can get a tight shot of what's on here. One of the egregious behaviors that leads to genocide, according to this supremacy pyramid, is minimization. And that would be things that white people might say, such as we live in a post-racial society, or we all belong to the human race. Those are considered phrases that could potentially be very dangerous. Your thoughts?
Well, while that is very disappointing to hear something like that being taught at Salisbury University, it's something that's not new in the least. And I think it's funny that they call this a diversity course when they focus on the most arbitrary things that divide us, like race. And growing up biracial in America, growing up as an African American, I do not see things in a prism of color, nor do I think that the cards were stacked against me because of some white supremacy.
You know, so this is a required course, as we said, for the students who are studying to be elementary education teachers. This is the statement from the university when we asked them, you know, why this was okay, why they think this is part of the education. It says the white supremacy pyramid is just one of the tools of Dr. Stuttleberg.
Dr. Stuttleberg? Dr. Stuttleberg! Every single time. I'm watching this clip for the first time right now, and I'm doing some editing on it. But it really is like every single time. I mean, I defy you to find a university department, whiteness studies, with white professors where less than 50% are not Jewish. I mean, the problem is, if you start looking at this through the lens of Ashkenazis simply being a separate ethnic group from Anglos or Germanic people, which by haplogroup we are, then this begins to look like racial hatred for white people. I mean, this is wrong. This is horrible. So this is part of why I do this, guys. I mean, there are a lot of black people who call out the excesses of the Al Sharptons and the Jesse Jacksons and the African American segment of the diversity industry. It's high time that more Jews like me start calling out this anti-white hatred. This is bullshit. This should not be tolerated. And if it takes a Jew to start saying that this is a Jewish problem, well then I'll tell you what. I'm just trying to have a conversation. That's all I'm doing. Just having the conversation.
Bam! Just like that. That's all there is to it, Dustin. That's all there is to it. A winner! Just like that. We'll be right back on our Price is Right. Don't go away.